Hello, ladies and gentlemen. On today's Art Tank, we will be discussing the various beautification projects that are rampant around Stony Brook's campus. Today, I am joined by Judith Clarke, the Vice President of Equity and Inclusion and Chief Diversity Officer. How are you doing today, Judith?
I'm well, Andrew. Thank you for having me.
So first, before we get into the beautification projects, can you explain your role?
So my role is to create a campus community of belongingness where you see yourself, you hear yourself, you see yourself, and really making sure that it's an experience both educationally but also that sense of making decisions where everyone feels valued, leveraged, heard, and they can contribute. So I keep the campus quiet and I keep the campus feeling like they're absolutely members.
And going into the murals, we see that there's one in West Side Dining,
Yes.
one in our own studio here. What was the process and technique in selecting that specific art? What was the inspiration behind each art style as well?
What we've kind of created a reputation of places where there's an entry place that looks a little boring. And we want to tell the story of who we are. So if we say we're an inclusive campus, it shouldn't just be words. You should be able to see it and experience it. And so people have been identifying, wouldn't it be great if we had a mural here or something? And so once a place is identified, our committee will find and put a call out to our artistic community. They will pitch, here's some art we can do, working with the place that wanted it to make sure it represents wherever that part of campus is. And then the art begins.
And what was the process in terms of selecting those specific locations,
So one of the processes we have looked at is every point of entry. So every time you walk in a door or every time there's a major wall that just is kind of a wasted space of messaging as to who we are. So we do a lot of walking around campus and we've kind of inventoried all across campus, both East Side, West Side, and Southampton campus. We've identified some places where we could do some of the storytelling through art. And so they're just on a list. And so as we go down our list, and sometimes people make requests and you move up the list, but we're not short on places that aren't interesting, but we make them beautiful.
And speaking on this list, are there any future locations that you could tell students to be aware of for new murals?
We really want people to tell us spaces that they want to have some art. And what kind of art do you want? What tells an inclusive belongingness story of really feeling like, this is what it means to be a sea wolf. And so I will challenge the listeners, you tell us where you want it. And we will put some art there.
Well, thank you. I appreciate this opportunity to interview you, and I'm very excited to see what the Stony Brook campus may have in terms of murals and future beautification projects. I really appreciate it.
Our pleasure. Thank you.
Right. So after the break, we'll send you back to Lavelle Stadium for first half stats and analysis right after this. Stay with us.